This week, Nomen Omen and Ghost Rider. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the First Issue Club. We're your weekly comic book podcast that talks almost exclusively first issues every week. I'm Mike D. With me, as always, are Greg, the Budget King, and Caitlin.
Caitlin's back.
Back again.
She was gone.
Now she's back.
To kickstart the show, let's get into some comic book news or some headlines that tickled your fancy this week.
There was a headline that said Dynamite publisher made $4.5 million selling omnibus books since March of The Boys.
Wait, $4.5 million on just The Boys
Omnibuses.
Since March, which,
yeah.
I mean, that's been a bit, but still, that's
impressive.
Shit.
a big old
That's a lot more
change.
money in comic books than I would think.
That's going to keep Dynamite alive for a while.
Yeah, no kidding. What's their next best thing? Like Cave Girl porno book?
Cave Woman.
I believe it's Scary Eddie.
Evil Eddie.
There we go.
Evil
Ernie.
I like Scary Eddie.
I'm Scary Eddie.
I had a pair of like long johns when I was a little kid called Sleepy Eddies.
Oh.
And it said Sleepy Eddie all around the waistband. Much like
Joe Boxer.
Yeah. So
Was there a character to this or it just said Sleepy Eddie?
it just said Sleepy
Oh.
Eddies.
Those are
But
the good old days.
when you would where they had sewn
Your Granimals, your Sleepy Eddies.
where they had sewn the elastic together on the back of my pants, it said Eddie dies. The way it lined up.
Oh, no.
And I was like, these are fucking rad.
I thought you were going to say like Sleddies or something, but
You were
Eddie
in-
Dies
yeah.
is so...
It was
That's
so
a
good.
It's good to get into misprint pajama pants.
Yeah, get those graded.
Yeah.
I would love to see how much of those sales were like digital and how much were...
Oh, yeah.
Because when I think I want to buy an omnibus or something, I'm going to buy a secondhand thing normally.
Definitely.
Omnibuses are expensive. They're like
They are.
hundreds of dollars.
I don't think I'm familiar.
They have everything.
An omnibus is like
It's like
collections of a trade.
It's like,
Like
God.
multiple trades in one.
So it's like a criterion, but for those things?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
I buy them, but only
For those
digitally.
things.
They're much cheaper, and those are the sort of things that just don't hold value, but I still want to read the thing.
Sure.
So they just make sense for me digitally.
Wonderful. Another headline.
Hit us with it.
If you're gonna see the Joker this week, you can't wear a costume.
Oh, man, there's been so many warnings about this
can't?
movie. Like,
I
the
think-
Alamo actually had to put out a little blurb that says, this is not a kid's movie.
I saw that.
This is
Why
not...
in the world would you assume this was a kid's movie if you had seen anything about it?
Because people are dumb. There are parents out there that are just like, my kid can handle it. My 8-year-old can handle our movies.
Yeah.
All right, he's been alive for 8 years.
Okay, but I don't think that Alamo saying this isn't a kid's movie is keeping those jokers away.
I think it was more of just like a kind of like a trigger warning, like them covering their asses,
Yeah.
just like, do not bring your
Which I
kids to
get you
this.
have to do.
This is rated fucking R for a reason.
And the director of that movie today said he quit comedy because of woke culture.
Not a good sign.
Not a great look for that movie.
No. It's basically confirming all
Ay,
of my
ay, ay.
fears about incel propaganda.
I actually,
I was-
until I read that, I was kind of a little bit excited about this
I
movie.
was pretty pumped, and I didn't know that until you just said it. So now I'm not necessarily.
Are you
This
going to
is-
see it?
You have to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
We-
see it like on iTunes.
You're
So-
going to rent it.
I'll say that I'm just as guilty as this as everybody else, but I've kind of realized this week that the more and more I hear about this movie before it even comes out, how much everyone is judging like this piece of art before it's even been in theaters. Like none of us have seen it, and we're all making these preconceived notions about like whether it should exist or should not exist, and what it might mean, and what it's like the safe take on it is versus like the brutal, honest take on it. It's an art piece, and if it's a commentary on incel culture, I don't know. Maybe there's some honesty in it, and it's like brutally awesome.
Okay.
I am open to the idea of being pleasantly surprised by this movie.
I mean, worst case scenario, Joaquin Phoenix is an incredible fucking actor.
I also think he's the type of person where like he doesn't really pick roles just to make money.
Right.
This
He
is
was in
a-
The Master.
He probably saw the script and was like, I can do this. This is something I want to do.
What you guys are talking about something he was on Jimmy Kimmel or something or
Yeah, did you guys see that?
no. So did he like have a freak
Recently?
out?
Well, the one that I saw was on David Letterman, but that was a long time
That's
ago.
when he did I'm Still Here, where he
yeah.
spent 3 years of his life doing a fake documentary
Yeah.
as if he were a hip hop artist, which is one of the best fucking movies ever made.
Yeah. So this Jimmy Kimmel thing was
Paint me a picture.
he's doing like a normal Hollywood talk show interview. And Jimmy Kimmel's like, someone sent us an outtake from the movie. Let's take a look at it. And they play this clip that's him sitting in makeup and the DP or something had just been muttering under his breath, "You're being a fucking diva." They go to another clip. He gets up and he slams his notebook down and gets up and he's like, "Fuck you guys," and walks away.
Why would they send this clip in?
And then they clip back to him. He was like, "I guess I'm going to have to talk to my publicist and have a statement tomorrow. That was supposed to be a private moment. Movies are tense."
Aren't they supposed to clear those with the people? Like, isn't it supposed to be
What?
even when stuff like that
He's the
comes
type
out,
of person,
it's still a
He's the
stunt?
type of person that like it might be,
planned?
yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised
That's not a bad thought, actually.
because they have to.
Yeah.
I feel like there's been so many like gotcha moments where they have to clear things now.
It was a hoax.
It was a hoax?
Yep. Set footage of Joaquin Phoenix cursing is fake. Vice. Joaquin Phoenix profanity-laden Joker outtake was a hoax.
Wow.
HuffPost. Joaquin Phoenix gets awkward after Joker takes fake outtakes on him.
So it was a marketing thing, and they just won because we're talking about it.
That's
Fuck
crazy.
me.
Yeah.
Sorry I even brought it up.
No. I think
I mean, it was, that moment was so tense and his reaction was like so
Wow.
real. Like, kudos to him.
well, and maybe it's another meta thing where I mean, you guys were talking about this movie kind of ending up being like a critique on that kind of culture. Like,
Yeah.
maybe this is
Wow.
like the cancel
That's
culture.
crazy.
Or the
I mean, he got
whatever.
it. That's
Yeah, like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to issue a statement tomorrow. Like,
Yeah.
even saying those things brings to light, like, this is the stuff that people are dealing with. And, like,
Man. Oh, you guys need to watch it for sure.
I want to.
Yeah.
News hits? Anybody else?
After 10 long lonesome years, Crank Anchors is back.
Oh, God.
God, no thanks.
Is the Birds of Prey trailer new?
Oh my God, yes. Have you guys seen the Birds of Prey trailer?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's good.
I like it.
It looked really good.
This is the new Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I
she's
mean,
like
it's-
co-starring.
Yeah.
It's called Birds of Prey and the
I would say
Emancipation of Harley
I would
Quinn.
say she's headlining.
She really is. This
She's
trailer
not-
was mostly Harley
Yeah,
Quinn.
it is.
Which, honestly, that's how you sell this movie.
Oh, 100%.
Who's playing Harley Quinn?
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie still.
She's
Yeah.
incredible.
Continued universe of
Yeah,
She's a great
Suicide Squad.
actress.
She's a
It-
great
it-
actress, and
Oh,
she's
she's
the
unbelievable.
perfect casting for this character.
Yeah, and what I forget what happens at the end of Suicide Squad, but I don't know if it's like a direct tie-in from there timeline wise, because it follows her post breakup with
right.
Joker.
So I think they cover that in the beginning of this movie.
Well, they're probably
that they
going
break
to.
up. Yeah.
But
Bas-
didn't he like leave her at the end of Suicide Squad?
You know what?
Like
I'm gonna be
in
real
order
honest.
to get away.
I have burned any memory of Suicide Squad.
I tried.
Out of
Killer
my
Croc
head.
is gone.
We wasted money on that in theaters.
She wasn't that bad though.
She was great, but like the weird racist undertones of certain
That's why I
characters
said Killer Croc is gone.
was just awkward.
Yeah.
And whoever played the Huntress,
Big eyebrows.
yeah,
Yeah.
what's her name?
Um,
Clon de Clive.
Okay. What are you gonna say
Juan
about her?
de Cleva.
Her acting was real rigid and weird. And anyway, I'm glad all those people are out and that this new movie came out because the trailer made it look really, really good.
The trailer makes it look really good. So
Yeah. If you guys like movies with things in it, you're really gonna like this movie.
Oh, I'm gonna like that movie.
it made it look real good.
This is 4-year-old Greg saying, "Get your parents to buy you tickets."
All the cool big kids are gonna see this movie.
Yeah, Twade baseball cards.
If those were the ads for this movie, I would actually.
I would too.
love to see.
Hey everybody, my name is Thomas, and I'm here to talk to you about Harley Quinn's the movie.
Holly Quinns.
They're
Harley
like
Quinn's.
little kids, but like also two wild and crazy guys.
Do you guys like stuff with bad words in it? Well, guess what? You're gonna love this. You're gonna flip your wig for this movie.
Is he also from Brooklyn?
Yeah, flip your wig is a common expression. that
Somebody
little
taught him that right
kids
before they.
It'll knock you right off your block.
They get common like turns of phrase wrong.
Is this being filmed at recess?
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear like bells ringing. Recess is over.
Well, gotta go see Bulls of Play.
Hold on, I gotta go learn about fractions. Bye. Oh wait, everybody. Be sure no one's in the womb because there's about to be a lot of cursing and a lot of What? What?
Jerry,
What?
your pizza rolls are done, sweetie.
Okay, I'll be down in a minute.
Okay.
Oh wait.
Don't
wait.
wait.
Oh wait, Mom, please, I
get
gotta
cold.
finish this thing.
All right.
All right.
All right. Have fun.
All right, Mom, I gotta. Okay. Let's get this podcast started. Pizza rolls.
First up, we've got Nomen Omen out on Image Comics. And how about that name?
Rolls off the tongue.
Just rolls off straight off of my favorite organ. Caitlin, will you please do us the honor of walking us through what Nomen Omen was all about?
I will try. It's been a while, but I've adapted this description that I found online.
It's been a while.
Since I last read a witchcraft book.
And described it to you guys. Okay, so no matter how fast you run, sooner or later, your past will catch up with you.
Ooh.
Don't know if you guys knew that. Enter Becky Kumar, a 21-year-old from a 3-mom family who's about to cross the veil between our reality and a realm of otherworldly truths. This is a tale of tales of witchcraft. It said a tale of tales, and I just left it because that's
good.
charming. It is a tale of tales, witchcraft, and secrets for mature readers that rewires the rules of urban fantasy.
Let me start with this. As a person who lost their footing with religion, I'm a sucker for anything on Instagram that's like, this is the way I've figured out life, or this is the new thing that I like. He says this thing in the end, in his editor's notes, the author of this, magic is real. I say this thing to myself a lot, like I'm creating magic, or this thing has magical properties that I'm like doing in his life. That really got me. I felt like I was like, that's an interesting premise to go about life. And he said that he wanted to conjure that up, that premise in this comic book. That alone made me feel like I like this comic book. Like I'm interested in that pursuit or that idea of trying to make magic manifest in a real world.
I liked some of the symbolism too, like the apples, the heart. This is fairy tale. This is not something that's, I mean, it's wanting to evoke some of those things, but in that spirit of this stuff exists. And I will say that I always, like, in a story where they're towing the line between is this magic or is this person just crazy, I always want it to be magic. So I feel like that really spoke to me too. Like, I do want something to be magical. I do want that to exist, and I want that to be where this is going.
Yeah. That alone is a good enough comic book for me. I'm just kind of filling the air right here. But but then the premise of the jumping around, I needed you guys to help me fill in some stuff.
Same.
Okay, yeah, and when we say jumping around, we mean that this comic book essentially at the Staples and this great gatefold of like an orgy scene switched into a new storyline, same characters, but in a new time period with new characters.
And it's, I think it's pretty clearly communicated that it's now following the baby that is being infused in the belly of one of the characters that comes, like, that is in the previous
Budget King is
part.
shaking his head when you said it's pretty clearly defined.
It's not.
Let's start by explaining the premise of the first half of the story. You've got two young lovers. One's about to go to med school. One's about to go across the country to pursue whatever her career path is, open a bookstore.
Yeah, I think it's just inherent. Yeah.
Yeah. She
Run a
wants
bookstore.
to get to the big city, go to New York and open a bookstore. It's just classic, fleeting, 20-something conversation about like where your heart is pulling you, lighthearted road trip sort of stuff, which put me in a place where I wasn't ready for like the shock of them pulling up on a wreck, finding a dead person, and what ensued after. How does everyone feel about that? Same page?
Love
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have gone with that story for a while.
For
I was
sure.
really tracking.
Ultimately, this woman comes out of the brush who's seemingly possessed. She
Right.
snaps in and out of possession.
She's got symbols on her person. She's
Yeah, drawn in blood. Ultimately, just to get to the chase, she puts her hand on this other woman's stomach and is just like, thank you for what you're going to do. And
She was pregnant herself, right?
Yes.
I thought
The
she
possessed
just,
woman was pregnant.
I thought she
Yes.
transferred the fetus.
yeah, she
or the-
transferred her fetus
Yeah.
to this other woman.
Mm-hmm.
And this like demon sex orgy scene was the passing of this life force
Yeah.
to this new woman. And my assumption is at that point, this possessed woman passes on and our couple goes into the distance and has this child together. Now, at this point in the comic book, I am so fucking in. And I want to see more of their story. And I was almost disheartened to see the jump forward in time. Anyone
yeah.
else?
I was too.
Because
Like-
the kid's like, how old's the kid now? In that
21.
time, in that
21.
time jump, 21. Yeah.
Well, and do you think that it's both women? I know that her phone rings mom 1, so I assume.
So those two were, so the two on the road trip together are women.
Mm-hmm.
They're a couple.
I'm so tracking now. I get all of this. I get everything. You totally explained it all.
And
I
they're-
totally like get it.
Yeah, and now they're raising their child together.
I just
As
needed
if
I
their
just
own.
needed a couple
Which-
words that said 20 years in the future now, or just like something that just guided me to say these are the moms now and they have a kid. I liked the transition. It was interesting. I didn't get that they were the moms that had the new kid until you guys said this. This comic book's fucking awesome now.
Yeah, it's
I
great.
love it.
I mean that.
It's great, but I wish
That
there
couple,
was
yeah.
a slower burn
Mm-hmm.
to get jumping 21 years later.
Maybe this was the hook, and we'll get more of that in issues to come.
If you can give us this 21 years later spoiler and then still make their story of how they got there interesting.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, knowing that she can get her heart taken out and wake up in a hospital bed, there's more to explore. Did the moms know that this was going to happen? Were
Right.
they imbued with these visions? Are they part of a secret world?
Yeah.
Like, we want to know more about the moms, that's for sure.
Yeah, totally. Before we get into all the what ifs there, let's recap or rehash the second half of this comic book. One, it was in black and white.
Because the main character is colorblind.
She sees in like through a monochromatic lens.
What was the name that she gave it to? It was like she
Oh,
can't
yeah.
even distinguish color. I'd never heard
Right.
that word.
Neither had I. I'm not-
Distinguish? Sorry. Yeah, da, 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 da.
couldn't help himself.
Sorry.
We
was
also
low-hanging fruit.
We also find out that there's a pairing Instagram account that goes with this book.
How many pictures are on this Instagram account?
Tons.
Are there really?
Dedicated. Yeah. Oh yeah.
How long has it been going?
2 days.
They intermix a little bit of promo material with the
Okay.
comic book, which I was like, that's okay. I get that.
Absolutely.
But they dedicated themselves to the craft here. But-
I just appreciate in general when a comic book does that, like
Yeah.
outside stuff. Like we've read comics where the people make music to correspond with the book. Sonata had that like app you
VR.
could scan the comic with, and like
Yeah.
you could see original drawings. That little extra details and stuff makes it easier for me to spend $4 on a comic book.
For all of those gimmicks and like little add-on things that make for a deeper experience, this is probably my favorite one that I can recall at least.
Really?
Just because it adds depth to the character themselves. Like it's posts made by this character of the book that you're reading, right?
Are there
That's-
words
That's
with the
much better
posts?
than this like ambient like pop song that was written
Yeah.
to like accompany.
Well, because it's
Yeah.
actually like a contribution to the story.
right.
It's not like a
Hey.
behind the scenes. It's like this is where the story's going, and you're in on it because you're doing this additional thing.
Totally. So, second half of the story starts out with the two women that we saw on the road trip. At this point, our assumption is that they had this insane shared experience, but ever since, they've just been raising this child as their own, and they've had a completely normal kid. But one can expect that if you had a kid through magical means, that ultimately someone's gonna come a knocking, or like something
Yeah.
weird is gonna happen,
Nothing
right?
good can come from magical birth.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Yeah.
And like, have you told this kid about how you?
See, I don't know that
I doubt it.
they have. You probably
I'm
wouldn't
gonna be
like,
so mad
I haven't-
if they
some
didn't.
mystical drifter
Oh, I
touched
would.
my belly and turned you
I
like
would 100%
I
tell
haven't
that kid.
I haven't been told yet.
But
You haven't gotten your letter to Hogwarts?
you know there's something greater than
Yes,
with you, right?
yeah. There's a better story out there for me. My parents haven't. They've chosen not to tell me about my evil dissension yet. Think about this too. You're like,
Okay,
okay, just
I'm ready.
Close your eyes.
My mind's open.
Okay, you're
My third eye's peeking though.
There we go. You're 21 years old. You're in a romantic relationship with somebody.
I've been there.
And you're on a little road trip. All of a sudden, bam! You find out that person is pregnant. You got to spend the rest of your life with them, or I mean, you
It's like
see
a supernatural baby.
Yeah,
I would stick with that person.
would you?
If they're having a supernatural baby, I'm like, all right, let's
Gotta
see
s-
where
I
this
got-
goes.
Yeah, I gots to see what happens.
Yeah. I just saw a baby go into your belly through someone's fingertip.
3 mommies.
2,
3.
3.
3 moms.
The initial host.
The initial host, who is dead, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
Still a mommy.
but still a mom. Wow. How about that?
How about them moms?
How about them moms?
Next book.
HBTMs.
Next book, you do not want to linger on this.
Our second book on the docket today is Ghost Rider #1, obviously out on Marvel, from Ed Brisson, Cooter, and Keith. We're seeing both of the Ghost Bros.
I would
baby.
read a comic called Ghost Bros.
You like that better than Ghost Rider?
Yeah.
Ghost Bros.
Yeah, I also like Cosmic Ghost Rider better than Ghost Rider, so I'm a Ghost Bros fan already.
Well, I'm talking about Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, 2 guys who have recently been Ghost Riders.
Ghost Ridders?
How do you pluralize it?
Rideman
A murder of Ghost Riders.
is called a flame.
I just
A
want
flame.
The,
Also,
the brothers Ghost
I don't
Rider.
want any-
I mean, it's Ghost Bros.
the
Who are we
brothers,
kidding?
the brothers Ghost Rider. I don't want anybody to confuse this comic book with the PBS show Ghost Writer.
I remember that
Oh,
show.
I do too.
WRITER.
Yes,
Often
With the cat.
after Wishbone.
yes. Okay.
Not to be confused with the Marvel superhero Wishbone, who was a witch.
Killer chime-ins all around.
I can't wait to hear this edit
Well-
where it says Mike coming through crystal clear and us all static.
I've made myself sound really funny and awesome.
Just constant laugh tracks.
Everyone else is made to be fools. Well, one of the coolest things that's going on in the MCU recently, I think, is Ghost Rider's addition to the Avengers. There's like some really weird dynamics going on with that team that you haven't seen in like a long, long time. Ghost Rider was teased forever in that series when we started seeing legacy stuff. And I think we're finally getting some payoff of what that is in this newer, more modern series.
Right.
If you're a Marvel head, you already know Ghost Rider, King of Hell in this story.
And I guess when you become King of Hell and you are a Ghost Rider, your skull does this thing where it forms a crown on your head from your skull,
And it's just hollow.
and it looks badass as fuck.
It's pretty fucking
The
cool.
other-
I love it.
The other people that aren't from Kansas City won't know this, but the other person that does that is the famed mascot Slugger from the Royals.
Oh, his head turns into a crown. You're
As
right.
well, when he becomes royalty.
He is a
Yeah.
he is a creature formed in the sulfuric pits of hell in defiance of God. He is an abomination, and we love him. We can't get enough of old Slugger.
We just have to keep him out of trouble when he slings hot dogs a little too far.
Yep. Before each game, we cart out 6.
That's the demon in him.
We cart out 6 innocent fans, and he shoots hot dogs at them.
Into their eyes.
Yeah.
There's some questions I have about like Ghost Rider kind of like timeline-y stuff on this, but one thing I wanted to get out there was Ed Brisson. Have you guys read stuff by him before?
Oh, for sure. I love him. I wrote him on Instagram a couple months ago just to be like, you're amazing.
I
know.
his indie stuff that he has written is
Yeah.
is fucking awesome. One of the books that I like can't recommend to people enough is one called Sheltered. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
I haven't read that.
It's I think it's marketed as a post-apocalyptic book. It's about like kids prepping for an inevitable doomsday. It's so good. He did The Mantle, Comeback, Violent. He did so many Image books.
The Violent is one of my favorite miniseries in like the last 10 years.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so he's such a good writer. So when they gave him this to bring back Ghost Rider, I was just like, it's in good hands.
I 100% agree. I was very excited. He had 2 Marvel first issues come out this week, and I was very excited to see what he did with them. Contagion was the other one. Kind of an event.
Oh, yeah.
That's getting some heat from ripping off Deceased. But hey, Deceased was kind of a ripoff of Marvel Zombies.
Marvel Zombies. So
Which
we
actually,
all borrow
it's
and
just a-
take.
I think Deceased ended today, so maybe it's a continuous timeline.
Could be.
Man, that'd be so funny.
I'll say that Marvel's version, a lot more lighthearted, no surprise.
Oh, God. Well, obviously, you guys have
You're
not been keeping up with
kidding.
Deceased, but
So,
it's been good.
yeah, has it been good?
It has been good.
Okay. This book read very much like a soap opera to me, or kind of introduced itself
Oh,
as
fuck, it did.
operatic. There's a lot of relationships and tension. There's like,
An alcoholic that purchases a bar.
His ex is obviously a cop.
yeah, right, totally. All these great
She's gonna be on his case.
all
That's a
these
good
great
point, yeah.
things, some great things with the people who are trying to like weasel in on his position as king of hell.
Mm-hmm.
We-
Those were so
You've
sweet.
you've got a threat to the throne. You've got
Mm-hmm.
essentially demon bounty hunters who are trying to bring these people back.
yeah,
They're having to team up, and then you've got all the issues, the personal issues of him.
totally drama filled.
Yeah.
There's a lot in this first issue to dissect, but they put it in so slyly that it's gonna take it'll pop into your head 2 days later, and you'll just be like, oh my God, like that's what that meant. Like that's what's gonna happen, and it's so layered and complex. I love it.
I think that like Marvel, however many years ago, was like, we're gonna do mix 'em ups with who the people are. We're gonna make Iron Man female. We're gonna make Hulk Asian. We're gonna do like all these different types of things. I think now they're mixing up their books and being like, we're gonna make Hulk a horror movie. We're gonna make Ghost Rider a soap opera, and to me, that's working really well.
Oh, totally. I mean, if you listen to the podcast, you know we've had a handful of creators on, and genre is always a buzzword that comes up when we're talking to them. That they're big fans of balls to the wall westerns growing up,
Yeah.
or balls to the wall horror growing up, and that influences the way that they write a lot. And you can really tell in some modern comics that that's coming back. There was, I think, a time certainly during like the 60s, 70s when genre was huge in comic books. And then we kind of lost it and everything just became washed out superhero stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's back better than ever.
Yeah,
Because you're forcing characters to be more complex than I'm a good guy, I fight bad guys, the end.
right. Because
And putting
in this
them in a
book,
setting where they feel foreign or something's going to happen within them that's more interesting than,
Yeah.
am I a good guy or a bad guy?
well, yeah, because in this book you don't know. I mean, this should be clear cut. You're from hell. You are a bad person, right?
Yeah.
They totally wipe that slate completely clean and make you think, well, are they? Because there's this demon in the book that says, why are you following me? I've paid off my debt a million times over. You should be more concerned with the people who don't want to escape hell.
That got to me a little bit.
Yeah.
You're probably right. People can change,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially after like eons.
Yeah, of absolute torture. You're
Right.
just like, I get it. I'm not going to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I've learned. And for the people that want to stay in there, you're
Yep.
just like, they need to stay in there. Go
Yeah.
watch them.
I had some compassion for that demon.
And
Which
so-
is why Ed Brisson is amazing.
Yeah.
And so, is it gonna be that Ghost Rider is hunting down Johnny Blaze?
So we get introduced to Lilith. She had the moped gang, which was fucking rad.
I love
She
that.
looked really cool, too.
Yeah, she looks sick. So Danny Ketch goes to his mother's grave, very drunk, and he sees a vision of his mother. I think that's Lilith.
Manipulating him.
Manipulating him, trying to convince him that Johnny Blaze is evil.
I don't really know the etiology of like Ghost Rider very well.
Not many people do.
Is Lilith, but what I understood Lilith to be was like kind of a goddess. Is she not?
So in the Bible, like in religious text, Lilith is like the other
like a
person that
mother
God
of-
made.
Mother of demons?
I thought Lilith was like, she basically turned into the snake or was the snake.
Damn, Greg, that's a good pull.
I learned this in a college writing class because I had a very wonderful and talented English teacher who was hyper feminist, and she taught us some weird shit that we probably weren't supposed to learn in that class. And I, to this day, cannot thank this person enough for being my teacher.
That's awesome. I had no familiarity with that. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Her most important thing is manipulating other people to take care of Johnny Blaze so she can be hands off and sneak right in.
Yeah. And Mephisto is locked up
Hoping that
somewhere.
they'll like all kill each other in the process. Yeah.
The Mephisto thing that you bring up, huge storyline going on in Marvel Comics right now that seems to be getting a little muddy. That
Continue.
There's a lot of different storylines that involve Mephisto in one way or another.
He was in Champions for a second.
Amazing Spider-Man recently.
Yeah.
There's been allusions to him in the Hulk storyline a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're leading up to explaining what?
Well, part of me thinks that they might be leading up to a big Mephisto event sort of thing or something major with that character. But at the same time, I also think that these storylines are contradicting themselves enough that you may have just had like 3 prominent flagship Marvel writers all at once just decide they wanted to use Mephisto in their books, and now we're like, fuck, like he's locked up in this book, but he's out free wrangling around in this book.
Right.
Well, was he in this book or were they doing things under the guise of Mephisto?
No, he was actually locked up in that prison thing.
Yeah, he's in a prison.
Yeah.
That's why Johnny Blaze is being called a false king by a lot of people.
Right, because Mephisto is the true king of hell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or so his followers say.
That's good. Thank you for setting that straight. I don't want to get ahead of myself here.
Let's say you're in hell. Who's your king?
Me.
Yeah, who's your king?
I'm the king of my fucking self.
Pleasure.
Pleasure is my king.
Oh.
Yeah,
Abstract concept
it
of
always
pleasure.
has struck me as strange that people in hell would follow literally anybody.
Yeah, right.
Who is paying attention to
Yeah,
any of that
hell
shit?
needs to be utter chaos.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I've
don't
always
even think
thought
the leader of hell would want to be they would just be more concerned with like what they want,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Satan would have a huge problem on his hands. Like, I'm sure he can't micromanage because there's so much shit going on, and it's tough down there. It's just tough. It's tough to be a devil nowadays.
One of the things that I'm most excited about, instead of editor's notes, we kind of got our bearing a little bit of the landscape of the Marvel underworld.
It was kind of like Dante's
I loved
Inferno.
that, yeah.
Like the layers
Levels.
of hell.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, there's some retconning here. You may have hell used as a storyline in Thor and then hell used as a storyline in another book. And we're trying to wrangle and define, 10, 12 realms of hell.
Those 2 pages were like, actually,
Yeah.
that was really
Yes,
Niflheim.
yeah.
That wasn't hell.
Yeah, totally.
But it was great.
Yeah, it was super helpful.
So one of those was highlighted as in like, hey, this week we're focusing on hell that like we're within.
Yeah.
Now,
The
next
Christian hell.
next week we're going to focus on like Niflheim, like
The below place.
yeah. and
what was it? The not sulfur, but
brimstone.
the brimstone realm.
Yeah.
Where Nightcrawler, his dad's from.
Right.
Is
Yeah.
that Azazel or Azazel?
Azazel.
So my hope would be that this story continues to explore and really define and get like some true Marvel definition of what these like hellscapes are.
Well, I
That
bet you're
would
going to
be-
have contenders from several of these realms, right?
Trying to take over like actual hell.
Yeah.
Oh, I love if you find out more about the different realms of the underbelly
Oh, shit.
by making like a gang war for like Mephisto's
It's
place.
it's
That would
another
be-
War of the Realms situation.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Except for it's all hell. Yeah.
This has been another episode of First Issue Club. We are a proud member of the Fountain City Frequency family of podcasts. Our music is provided by Primary Color Music. We are recorded in KCUR Studios. You can find us, rate us, friend, and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, email, and your favorite listening platforms at First Issue Club, FIRST.
My picture.
Now who's on their dickhole phones?
My picture's too low res.
You got us.
Got him, coach.
Got him.
Got him, coach. Got him.